Welcome back to Mucko Plays Satisfactory. This is day 2 with the 1.0 update, and we're going to be picking up where we left off. So yeah, in the previous episode we set this admittedly slightly messy, automated kind of basic parts factory. So we're producing some iron plates and some iron rods and storing them in here. We're producing some screws here and storing these in this location. We've got some concrete automation here, and we've got our basic copper parts, so copper wires and cables being stored over here. So yeah, we're just kind of got out of the prologue and into the very basics here. This is a little, as I said, kind of messy, and one thing that we'll be looking to do is to bring some order to this this mild chaos. But we're probably going to want some unlocks to help us do that. So the previous episode, we closed off by unlocking the ability to create foundations, and you get walls, and the lookout towers as part of that as well. So let's have a look here and see what else we want to get to. Obviously our main objective, as it says in the top right, is to build the space elevator, but I think there's a few things we're going to want to look at before we do that. In the tier 1 unlocks, field research will be handy. Having the map is a useful thing, but not our biggest priority right now, I don't think. Part assembly, again, prerequisite for the space elevator, but not the first thing we want. I think we're probably going to veer towards obstacle clearing for now, because it would be really nice to get that solid biofuel. That's going to help with the power challenges that we've got at the moment. Right now we are running on these 2 biomass burners, as well as the 2 that come with the base here, and I've just been topping these up with leaves and with wood that I've been collecting as I run around, and we're burning through these relatively quickly. So to keep our production chain going, more sustainable power I think is the best thing we can do right now, and the easiest way to do that is to stop feeding the raw materials in terms of leaves and wood and start feeding in instead biofuel. So yeah, this obstacle clearing unlock is going to help us towards that. No, we might want to think about getting up towards Logistics Mark II. We should probably do part assembly before that. So we may go more or less in order in terms of the rest of these, but here's where I want to be right now, I think. So, concrete, no problem. I think the screws and the cable will have created enough for those as well already. So yeah, we should have enough to just feed in here.
Milestone reached. Solid biofuel, created from any biomass, ensures maximum efficiency of biomass burners. To aid in biofuel production, the chainsaw allows for the removal of tougher wood and coral foliage. Additionally, your pocket dimension has been inflated to increase inventory size. Inspirational note: will you be the Fix-It Employee of the Month? You could be if you construct, automate, explore and exploit by eliminating all obstacles to efficiency. This isn't just fun, it's contractually mandated. Fun.
Well, who are we to argue if it's contractually mandated, hey? Yeah, I should have an equipment workshop in our base. And let's see what that chainsaw takes. We've got the right equipment for it here now, so let's grab one of those. Cool, and this is going to need some fuel. I don't think I've got any bio stuff stored. Right now, oh, we have got some wood stored. Cool. So we can just use that to craft that into biomass. And then from there into solid biofuel. And that'll give us something to get our chainsaw running. Okay, so the chainsaw is going to let us get rid of trees and we'll get more wood and leaves from that. And it also has this kind of neat kind of area effect. So if we just picked up these leaves, we would just pick up that one leaf. But if we use the chainsaw with its area mode, it's actually gotten rid of plants that are kind of around us in a radius, and we get all of the resources from any one of those. So yeah, I'm just going to be running around doing this, clearing out some of the forest here to get us some raw resources. I'll skip forward in the video here, but we'll cut back if we run across anything interesting. So yeah, one interesting thing to run into out in the world is these small deposits of various minerals and stuff. So when we start to mine this, it should tell us something about it, and we should then unlock the ability to scan for it if I remember rightly.
Unknown chemical element collected. This non-metallic and multivalent element seems to be present only in a solid state and exhibits a most pungent smell. It is fortunate fixit helmets are of such high quality. Store this potential resource for later use.
Also some bad dudes here protecting this power slug, which we are going to want. There we go. Those things are so fast, honestly. Sometimes it's better to just like try and tank them than to dodge around them. Also, I can't see where the other one dropped. Here he is. There we go. Yeah, so this is a nice find here.
This semi-slug species seems to persist entirely through absorbing and storing energy from its surroundings. Studying this could provide new methods for improving fixit production line efficiency. Store this potential resource for later use.
And we've also got a bit of a resource node here. So these boulder things we won't be able to crack yet, so we won't be able to place a miner down on this, but this is at least going to give us our first bit of Caterium as well.
Unknown metal collected. This metallic element is showing properties similar to those in Group 11 on the periodic table, such as high conductivity and malleability. Store this potential resource for later use.
No, we can't scan for those yet. We've obviously got to do something with them in the MAM. Also, there's something shooting fire at me over here. Come back. There we go.
Samples of unknown alien species acquired. Their weaponized plasma is most likely stored as a stable chemical substance in an organ close to their mouth, and only turns volatile when exposed to one of the chemical elements in the air. Preserve the remains for later study.
We got another power slug up here as well. Cool. Well, I'm going to do a bit more resource collecting, and then we'll check back in once we're back at base. So something else interesting in the area, we've run into our first drop pod here. Whoops. And something guarding it. Ooh, there's a fair chance I'm going to die here, because I don't have any healing stuff. Okay, there's one down. I think the other one's still over there. Oh no, maybe I got him. Neat. Yeah, so this is a drop pod. These things are scattered generally around the world. And they'll usually have some decent materials nearby them. And then in the pod itself, there should be something good.
Damaged hard drive successfully acquired. All pioneers are contractually obliged to preserve and secure any recovered hard drives for future analysis, which may result in benefits to the Fix-It mission. Speculation as to why there are crashed freighters in your Fix-It designated zone is discouraged as specified in your contract.
Okay, well, there's a supercomputer over there that I don't want to lose, so I'm just going to drop these rods. Don't need those, but I do need the inventory space. Neat. I'm sure that will come in handy at some point. I'll be honest, I don't have a good handle on what supercomputers are used for. They're quite far down the tech tree from what I remember. But certainly not going to look past the opportunity to grab one while it's there. Okay, so let's chuck all the things we can't use just yet in storage. Yeah, so what I really want to do before we think about... Ooh, hey bud. Nice. What I really want to do before we think about scaling the factory too much further out is to give us a decent path to generating fuel. So add some more biomass burners, but I also want to set up a little production chain that can take leaves and wood that I'm gathering out in the world and turn those into biomass and then into biofuel. I could clear a bunch of space down here and do this, but I think this ridge up here is going to make a decent location for doing that stuff. So let's go and take a look at that. I think we can scale it from this side. Cool, that gives us a nice bit of open space to work with. So, we're going to start building with foundations here. I'm going to place my first one down and I'm going to hold control while I do it. And what that's doing there, you can probably see that moving. As I press control, that's snapping it to the global grid. That's really useful because it aligns things to, well, a grid that's present all over the world. And what that means is essentially if we start to build a factory here and then later on, you know, miles and miles over there, we start to build like an outpost factory or whatever, so long as the first stone that we place is on that global grid, then we know that by the time we come to connect the two factories with a road or a railway or anything like that, they're not going to be misaligned. So we're not going to have any of those annoying like half tile worth of gap or anything like that. I'm also going to change my build mode to Zoop here to make placing the tiles down a little faster and easier. This might be just about enough space. Probably one or two more runs here, actually. Cool. That will probably do us. And then I want to make sure we've got a way to get up and down, so I'm just going to use the ramp and again to zoop that. Okay, so what we're going to want is a space to put leaves into, and a space to put wood into. And then we're going to feed these into constructors, because the biomass that I've been crafting by hand so far, we can also automate that. I might just want to bump these back half a square or so. So this one is going to create biomass from leaves. This one's going to create biomass from wood. And then we're going to take both of those and run them through a constructor that's going to create biomass, biofuel, which can take either of these and use that as its starting point. So if we then drop a merger here, cool. And then with the new and improved biomass burners, we can actually automate this going into those now, which we never used to be able to do. So that's going to be neat. Is that nice and centered? What I did there was press the H key while I was kind of mid-build to lock the hologram in place. Now I'm just going to use the arrow keys to nudge that, get that positioned exactly where I want it to be. And then once the first one's in place, I can just hold control. Stuff those nicely. And then we'll just get these connected to the power grid. Let's drop another power pole here, in fact. And then if we drop another power pole at this edge, we can hook this up to our existing grid. These guys should be ready to go. Now, one thing that I am going to do, this container, we want to remember to only put leaves in. We don't have access to any signs yet, but what we can do is, if I hold this down, split this stack, so that was me just holding right click there to get the custom stacks playing. If I drag this out of my inventory, it should drop it on top there, which is a nice little hack we can do. I'll do the same thing over here with some wood. I'll just kind of stand in, staring dead on at the container, drop it out of your inventory, and then instead of going on the floor, it should end up on top there. Cool. Now if I drop the wood that I've got into there, drop the leaves that I've got into here, I'll grab my extra ones from storage as well. Oh, and then we need to finish chaining these together, don't we? So we're going to do that with some splitters down here. I did not pick a very easy viewpoint for doing that stuff. Cool. Now I'm going to try the new build mode here. I'm going to press R to change that, and I think... Yes, that gives us nice 90-degree turns whenever we do that. That's a really nice quality of life improvement with 1.0. It used to be that you would have to manage that stuff yourself, and everyone kind of knew the way to do it was to go sort of 2 ticks. You know, like pull it 2 ticks out from where you want to be and then turn it and so on and so forth, but no need now. We've got a nice 90-degree angle mode there. Okay, we should see these guys turn green, and we should see that we've got a significant jump up in power now. So yeah, got capacity up to 250. That includes the couple of biomass burners we've got down on the ground floor, which I'm probably not going to keep because they're not in a very convenient location. So now that we're up and running up here, I think we'll just get rid of these 2. And yeah, nice little power setup that we've got here. And we'll just need to periodically come in and drop any leaves we've got into this one and any wood we've got into this one. And those should be nice and happy. And I may stick a ramp at this side as well, just for convenience. Maybe let's go this way. Okay, I'm just going to drop a few things off here so I don't have to make 2 trips. Leaves in this one. Wood in this one. And I'm actually holding some biomass as well, so I can, so long as there's space in here, drop this straight in. Nice. Okay, that's a nice bit of productive time there. Now, what else have we got? You can get the map and stuff. We should have enough for this already.
Milestone reached. Supply the molecular analysis machine, referred to as the MAM, with local resources to research and develop new technologies. Potential technologies include exploration tools, weapons, and factory buildings. These are essential for maximizing your Pioneer efficiency and alignment with Fixit's core pillars: construct, automate, explore, and exploit. To advance Fixit's mission, all notable phenomena, resources, technology, or other influence should be investigated regardless of any perceived danger, as stated in the Pioneer contract.
Cool, so we have a new buildable here, which is the MAM. So we can use that hard drive we found, we can drop in some remains and get some stuff. Get that Caterium we found, the power slugs, and the sulfur. So hard drive first, I think. The hard drives, as we drop them in here, they're going to give us a choice of alternate recipes. Some of those can be pretty game-changing. It would be pretty nice to get something like the custard screws recipe at this stage in the game, so let's give that a go. That takes 10 minutes to run through, so we'll just leave that as we're doing other stuff. Right, we should look at what the next milestone is. Kind of into mines between part assembly and logistics Mark II, so I think we've probably got enough reinforced iron plates to unlock the milestone. We're going to start to need those to make Mark II belts as we go, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna get the logistics Mark II. I don't mind handcrafting some reinforced iron plates for the Mark II belts, and at least it means if we've got like the stackable conveyor poles, we can use those in our next build. So that makes sense to me, doing things slightly out of order, but it'll be easier to set up our next kind of rebuilt iron factory, which is the next goal that I really want to go to, while having some of those tools, like the Mark II belts, and like the stackable conveyor poles. That pod's nearly back. Here it is. Okay, now our iron production's been running while we've been doing all of that fuel and exploration and stuff, so yeah, we've got enough basic parts here to unlock.
Milestone reached. Fixit would like to remind you of your contractual obligation towards efficiency. Recreational use of belts and lifts does not count towards work hours and will put you on the list. Stay efficient, don't disappoint Fixit.
I definitely don't want to make the list. Cool. So yeah, part assembly is where we're going to be going next. But that'll take a little while to for the freighter to do its thing. So, what we should be thinking about next, I think, is to take this basic iron production here, scrap all of this down, set us up a nice foundation to build on, and start to build out something much more scalable in terms of iron production that can get us more of the basic parts, but also to start to automate towards getting some of those more advanced parts. That's something we're going to pause for now and pick up next episode, though. So for now, let me just say thanks for watching, and hope to catch you on the next episode of this Satisfactory playthrough. Cheers.